Hello everybody, welcome to the ITK Soccer Show. It's 5th of October 2017. We're back after last week's quiz and we're going to talk about the Premier League and subsequent international break. We'll start off with a little bit of news. Bayern doing a stopgap between now and next year, bringing in the man who last won the treble. He's like 75.
Yeah, but he actually retired after he won the Champions League. Jupp Heynckes.
He was kicked out for Guardiola though.
Yeah, and Guardiola could never step up to the plate the way he did.
Why did he come back though? Like, I can see why he came back.
6 months.
Yeah, we gave up after the treble though. Like, you're not going to do that again. This Bayern team is.
Yeah, but he can always just do an Alan Shearer and say, I never had enough time, just did my best, mate.
That is the Alan Shearer. But Alan Shearer did have 7 matches, not 3/4 of a season.
Well,
I'll take your point.
The thing is with Heynckes though, like, he's still getting a really good team. Like, I can't believe Bayern actually sacked the manager. Like, Heynckes and Bayern kind of agreed that they were going to go their own way.
We should kind of talk about this because we were watching the match but hadn't concluded on last Wednesday, and like the team selection was absolutely bizarre. I will give them that, like playing Ham when Ham has been shit for as long as Ham has been shit, and Robin coming off the bench and Ribéry and
but
all
apparently
that.
it was the dressing room's gone, and
Robin
apparently felt it was completely degrading bringing him on 3-0 down for like 10 minutes or something.
There's been a lot of like false Robin stuff.
There's a lot of this stuff going on, but like they've lost Lam and Alonso, Schweinsteiger. They've
Dante.
lost, yeah, they've lost some really key members of the dressing room who will
Key members of the treble, like Dante.
Yeah, Dante. Yeah.
Sorry, Dan. Go ahead.
So that's it.
Well,
Dante's gone. Let's finish the show.
Robin, okay.
The stuff that like Robin apparently came out and said, my son and the Bayern youth have tougher training than we have, and it is well known that Ancelotti's not a tough sort of trainer, sort of thing. Like, he's more of a motivator and sort of.
Robin
stuff.
was also asked after the game, like, to basically back the manager, and he was like, "I will not say anything." It's like, okay,
but apparently Robin came out after, goes, "I didn't say that," so I don't know if it's been made up or. It was mad, but it was weird because they have your man from Hoffenheim is supposed to take over, like that's supposed to be done, but. They never beat PSG.
Well,
like, it's a well-known stat. They do not win in Paris.
It's their league position that's
well,
started
they're
all
struggling.
this
Like, they won. Nagelsmann, is that the Hoffenheim coach? Yeah. I think Nagelsmann. The former Dortmund coach, Neil, he's in the frame for it as well.
Tim Tuchel
and Thomas Tuchel.
Get Klopp in.
And and Luis Enrique was actually. I think Luis Enrique is going to get the job next season.
Well,
apparently
seems
it's him or
he's not on the majority of the short list.
Pep Guardiola said that he knows who's getting that job next year. I don't know. Why would he come out and say it?
Because Pep, why does he wear brand new white sneakers for every single game?
Maybe he just wears them once every Saturday.
No, man, it's
he
brand new. He
wears them for sneaking.
I'm not saying he doesn't, but when you have that kind of cash, it's brand new. I find it
I'd
deplorable.
say there could be something in either. I'd go to Hoffenheim boss or Luis Enrique.
I just want
long term.
I find it deplorable the way that he dresses.
What do you think is next for Ancelotti? Since we know that he's a Hollywood box
Liverpool
office star. After
Liverpool and Klopp goes, as you said.
Oh, that'll be big.
I think Arsenal.
We're never getting big.
I think Arsenal now would be.
Didn't he say
that? 2-year contract to Wenger now is looking more and more.
Didn't Ancelotti say that though? That like the one thing that would bring him back now would be the Arsenal job.
Well, I think he'd be brilliant there. Like, he's not a bad manager. It's just whatever's going on. Like, the Chelsea dressing room imploded when he left as well. Maybe you can only get 1 or 2 years out of him, and then because but he still didn't have a bad record at Bayern. No,
they won the league.
Kun Aguero in a car crash in Amsterdam. Broken ribs, be out at least 7 weeks, can't move while he's in his house. Terrible for City, although it didn't affect him too badly.
Well, seems fine. We'll see. It seems like taxi took the wrong turn and crashed into a
But I'd like to know, did he get permission to go or what?
Because Pep came out and said, I want my players to have a social life.
You'd imagine he did. I'd say, like...
As long as he wasn't over there smoking the old Toby, I'm sure it was all good. Like most people go. Just not that it's significant, and it's great that, he survived with minimal injuries, but
you're just going to say he survived.
This really fucked up my fantasy. I'm down to 7th.
Everyone said that.
Well, what happened was I was doing it in work as I do on a Thursday. Give yourself a day. And I was being asked to do things in between. And in my foggy haze...
Work?
Yep. It's outrageous. And in my foggy haze, I forgot Harry Kane existed. And I put Lacazette in instead. I would think I'd be number 1 if I'd put Kane in. So it's both my and the taxi driver's fault. I will admit that. But either way, it caused a terrible amount of distress.
I took Kane out last week because City had Crystal Palace at home, and I was like, Aguero's gonna go nuts, and he's got a goal and assist, nothing great, and Kane went nuts.
No.
So then with Aguero injured, I brought Kane back in.
I
Everything
brought
worked
Kane
out.
in at the start of September, literally because I knew he'll start scoring. So for a while now, I've had Morata, Lukaku, and Kane, but Morata's injured now, so I'm thinking maybe Lacazette. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Lacazette's that good.
Nope.
He's very good.
Stan Kroenke plans to buy Usmanov shares from Arsenal, but Arsenal don't want to have one giant shareholder, is the story.
Well, it's bad news if he does go in and get the full thing, because he doesn't give a shit about that club,
Yeah.
and he's not a very nice man.
Can they? I don't think. Well, they don't want it to happen. Can they stop it from happening? Not
I'm
really.
not a businessman. I don't know, but
No, they can't.
It's up to Usmanov.
Usmanov says he's not selling, and he'd actually like to buy out Kroenke.
Okay.
So, but
Oh, well
Kroenke
then.
seems more powerful.
He's a good businessman though.
Yeah.
Kroenke-
Yeah, for sure.
Well, he's lost money now with the Champions League thing.
Yeah, but he's married to like Mrs. Walmart, isn't he? So he's fine.
Is he married to Mrs. Walmart?
Yeah.
Steady income there.
Or the daughter of Mr. Walmart. I don't know how it works. He's in there somewhere.
A Ms. Walmart, let's
Yeah,
just say.
he's one of those hunters that goes out killing animals.
Yeah, he's a bit of a bastard.
Yeah, he's not a nice person. But
Um,
none of them are.
the biggest story, I guess, this week was everything that was happening in Catalan with the renegade guerrilla voting, the way the police brutality and whatnot. And Gerard Piqué, guess, being the most prominent for both club and country, was doing a lot of talking, giving emotional pleas. And then when he turned up for Spain training, there was the picture of there was a giant Spain banner there, or Barca banner, and he had been vandalized. His image had been vandalized, which brought up the question of like, well, if you guys do end up getting your independence, are you going to leave? And he said, why should I leave? And it's a very sticky situation.
I mean, he said, like, even now, he said, why should I leave? Like, it's actually, he's more saying present tense.
Yeah.
Like, because they're saying, oh, yeah, you don't want to play or whatever, but it's like, why should I leave when it's the only place I can play for? Like, it's not like he's not determined to play for Spain. Yeah. You've clearly seen that. He's won everything there is to win with Spain, and he hasn't been terrible with them.
Is it having your cake and eating it, though? Is that a really negative way to look at it? It's like, you know, I don't want to be recognised as a Spanish citizen, but I still want to play for Spain.
I think he just wanted people to have the option to vote. I think he was never really.
He wasn't saying you guys have to vote that we get our independence. He was just saying
well,
everyone.
I think he is now.
Well,
Okay.
everyone.
He was being a bit more
Medical-
diplomatic at the start and just saying we should all have the right to vote on this.
Everyone should have a right to vote, regardless.
Yeah. I
Well,
think
no
that's-
one's going to argue with him in that sense, but
The
yeah.
whole thing about Catalonia's independence is because it's a bit murky. Obviously, it looks one particular way because of how the police and all acted at the vote, but it seems a large part of it is that during the crisis, because Barcelona is one of the richest cities, they paid a lot of the money back and didn't get a lot in return. So they're like, why are we paying for?
Well, sure,
the
Madrid
entire
gets
country?
everything in that country. Like, Barca,
Yeah, I know,
they're way below what they should be getting.
Yeah, no, but it's sort of like a Brexit type thing. They just want to split off into their own country because they don't want to redistribute.
Well,
their
it'd be
money
interesting to know
other
what
countries.
happens in the Liga.
Okay.
Because, like, in theory, they would be entitled to leave La Liga, but again, it'd be like them.
The chairman has
and
said-
Espanyol and like
One other
small
team?
other teams. Like,
There's one other team, isn't there? In La Liga.
is it Eibar? I can't remember. There's
Yeah.
another team or something. But there's not enough to make up a league. So then people are like, oh, they'll go to the Premier League. It's like,
Yeah, someone said that.
it's
Yeah,
like, why
yeah.
would they go to the Premier
Well,
League?
no, because the chairman said that it was an option, which is not an option, but he just wants to get
but
people
like, I
talking.
don't know.
The only
like,
thing
but
they
like
could do
Cardiff,
is-
Cardiff play in England. It's like it does happen. But
No,
like,
but the only thing they could do logistically in terms of travel is play in the Portuguese league.
French.
They still have to fly.
There
Well,
was,
yeah, look, they won't
that's
be
why
moving
this
league,
sort of thing-
but they're gonna.
Well, I wanted to talk about with the new TV deal that's going to be announced this week, and apparently, the Champions League final got moved to a Saturday. This was years ago. We all know this, and the reason that this was preempting something that Barcelona want to do is to move all European fixtures to the weekend, to have the big matches on the weekend and have all the league matches during the week, all domestic football,
Oh,
because for money reasons.
but that would really make the smaller teams suffer, right?
Well, yes. it
Okay.
would. But yeah, especially with attendances and tourists and stuff. But like, I don't know if it'll happen. But there's loads of stuff up in the air now about the TV deal. That's why I find it so interesting, because they don't know if like Amazon and Facebook are going to bid for them.
Oh yeah, that's
Pushing
right.
the Sky and BT stuff, and then there's also
Well,
what the
when-
NFL do, where the NFL just stream it, and you can buy memberships to that. So I just like find it so interesting. I think Sky and BT will get it again and piss me off. Like,
well, there's also an issue coming from the English teams where a lot of the bigger teams want to get a larger cut.
yeah,
Where right now it's fair. The obviously it's not fair in the sense that the bigger teams get shown more, but it's divided up
But
evenly.
you get
It's
more.
not-
You
it's
get
not
more
the-
for finishing bottom of the Premier League. You think fourth in La Liga.
No, but what I'm
yeah,
saying
it's not
is
ridiculous.
it's not the domestic market. It's the international market. So it's like Asia
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And they're like, well, Asia aren't watching Stoke Burnley. They're just not.
yeah.
They're all watching Liverpool. And
But
United
Stoke and
and-
Burnley, like if let's say Stoke and Burnley were playing on NBC Sports 1 and Liverpool United were playing on NBC Sports 2, right? Every team would get 25%, no matter what. So that's the argument. The bigger teams are going like, look, we don't care what you show, but when you show us,
Well, the
you
bigger
know,
teams, they want a bigger cut again, though. They're actually saying that they go, even with the existing deal the way it is,
yeah,
they think that they want to be leaning towards the way it is for Madrid and Barca, even though they have distributed a little bit better the last 2 years in Spain, but it's still completely wrong. Like it's completely just with the two big guys. But yeah, like it's all completely like the Premier League the way it is at the moment. Everyone gets a fair share. It's outrageous money that's going around, but at least it's divided among.
Yeah, no,
pretty
I
equally, so
agree. I can just
it's the only way
understand
you
why
can
the
do
big
it.
clubs
But
are
in Spain, it's a bit of a mess.
doing-
So.
Well, it'll always be a mess in Spain because they've built it the way it is.
Speaking of the Premier League, then I suppose we'll move on to. And speaking of Harry Kane, Huddersfield hosting Spurs, Kane getting two, Davies getting on the score sheet, and Sacco with a bobbly goal at the end gets it out.
Sacco.
Sorry, Sissoko. Excuse me. So what you think? What you think of that?
Spurs
Kane's
were
real
just so. They were just like much better than Huddersfield. Huddersfield are coming down to earth now. They're
Can I ask you a question?
what?
For a player who doesn't have lightning pace and gets compared to Shearer anyway,
Mm-hmm.
how much of a Alan Shearer goal was the second goal?
Well, but it's my goal of the week. I thought it was absolutely world class. That goal. I couldn't
Unreal.
believe how good it was.
Just look like Alan Shearer. It's like
No,
I'm
he's
just
the
going to
closest
break the
I'm
line.
sure you get. Like, cause he's not like Kane's like he's not slow, but he's just.
He's average.
He's just, I don't know how he does it. I think it's his movement. But I said last week, it's his mentality, which is so great. Like,
I've always thought that Suarez was never that fast.
You don't see,
in reality.
you don't see Harry Kane on, like, the stuff that Dele Alli's getting up to. I've been saying on the shoulders for years, Dele Alli's a little prick.
Well, he
is.
seems like a pro. We'll get to that.
But that's Harry Kane is, like, he works so hard. And he can just, like, even though he talks with a bit of a, like, he's like a fat tongue or something. But, like, he's just comes across as a good guy.
Why do we have to mention his fat tongue?
Well, it's just,
Do you think that
know.
it's because he's not like particularly like good looking,
That's always going to play a factor.
like the Wayne Rooney thing? You know what I mean? Like clearly.
Well, here's the thing, though. Wayne Rooney, although not a pretty picture, was like England's great hope for 10 years when in reality he was only England's great hope for 3. The media were still obsessed
but
with
I
him.
think that's because, well, for like the FIFA things,
He was
like,
their best player.
Yeah, like
Not necessarily the
FIFA
hope.
signed like Kaká, Ronaldinho, and Rooney all to like 5-year deals. And
Yeah.
After 2 years, we were like,
Well, just the English media specifically.
Sure.
Like what about, but Harry Kane is England's best player, surely.
he's their captain now.
Yeah, he's captain tonight.
So, who's going to take set pieces? But
Take the corners. Him and Phil Jones can fight over.
I don't know. Look, like there's been a lot of banter recently about we even talked about last week before him scoring another brace. His perception, is he the best striker in the world? Spurs fans think he is. I think the general consensus is because Spurs don't actually win anything, that he's never going to get
No,
his just desserts unless
needs
he
to
goes
win
to a
something.
place that
Yeah,
wins.
he needs
So-
to win
Like even
something.
Shearer won the league. You know what I mean? Like he has that. Like, and even he sort of like almost gets forgotten. Like
Sure.
like he doesn't obviously because he scored 270 Premier League goals or something. But like who's the greatest striker in Premier League history? You're always like, well, Henry won the World Cup and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Well,
like these players that won stuff are
Well,
always
Kane's
going to
on
be
what,
remembered as world class.
84 goals in
Yeah, I think so.
this race. But like again, he's gone on loan. I think he's at Norwich, Leighton Orient, might have been with Millwall. He literally worked his way up, been on loan for all those years. Like Harry Redknapp had him and just kept putting him on loan to places. Bowes had him, put him on loan to places. He's literally like
Bose.
Villas Bowes.
Sorry.
So like he's been everywhere, like which has been great. Like he's done things the hard way. He's worked his way up.
He's paid his dues, brother.
Absolutely. So, but again,
a great man. But
Again, though, if they don't break the their pay racket to keep him because
They won't.
He's on a very modest wage.
Yeah, they
for
don't.
what
If
he's doing on the
if they
pitch.
don't break his pay,
He'll be gone to, like Real Madrid or Barcelona will go for him in the next 18 months.
he's not a Barca player. Madrid could go in for him. I could see
Man United go
I
for
could see
him.
Bayern go for him. I could definitely see United go for him.
Man United will go for him.
Because like they won't have Zlatan probably next year, and they'll want Lukaku and someone else. Imagine that competition for number 9.
Kane's better than Lukaku.
Well, Lukaku. Well, yeah, okay, but it's not like Lukaku is doing anything except scoring.
Lukaku scores in August though.
And Lukaku scored injured.
The thing about
weekend.
Kane though, he'll actually get involved in a game as well, which I like.
Look,
he's not just a
great.
goal
He's
scorer.
great. He's great. But we need to move on to the next match. But anyway, a lot of the talking points coming out of the Spurs was Dele Alli taking another dive and Pep publicly shaming him. Not Pep, excuse me. Pochettino publicly shaming him.
Did you hear what?
Had a long
Can't
week.
wait to say Ryan O'Doherty in the fantasy.
It's coming.
Did you hear Pep after he's got? Oh, like it was good to beat one of our challengers for the league. Like it's them, Manchester United, and that Harry Kane team.
He didn't say that.
He said that, yeah.
I guess it kind of is the Harry Kane team.
The alley dive was ridiculous. So they were 3-0 up, and
Why does he act like such
he
a
doesn't.
bollocks?
He doesn't need to get an attitude like that.
Did you start kind of where I'm coming from now? He's really overhyped. He's a little dick.
He's not having a great season.
But
I'll accept
he's
that.
not. He's a very good goal scoring midfielder. What he does, other than that, he's not that great, and he's a terrible attitude. He won't go very far with that attitude as well.
I didn't see Bournemouth. Oh, no, excuse me. I saw the Bournemouth and Leicester highlights. I have absolutely, legitimately zero memory.
Okazaki missed a good chance. Bournemouth should have had a penalty. I think both these teams are really struggling, and I think Bournemouth are in trouble because they have no goals in the team.
Bournemouth will stay up.
They need someone to score a goal for them because
Callum
Defoe's
Wilson will
not
get
doing
back,
it.
and Defoe will score. They'll stay up.
We'll see.
Does that-
We'll see.
Mata opened the scoring for United when Crystal Palace came to visit. Fellaini, the greatest defensive midfielder of the last 3 years in the Premier League, scored 2 goals because he's great. And then Lukaku, injured, had to tap in thanks to
I'll tell
Martial
you,
being great.
Crystal Palace, the Hodge going in there, taking that job. I don't think he realised what he was getting himself into.
Oh, he saw the positives though.
Like,
He's laughing
like
at the end.
if they lose to
Best performance
Chelsea
of the season.
in Saturday week, so in 2 weeks' time, they could be 9 games, like 20 odd goals conceded, may have scored 1.
They
0
didn't
points.
score any.
They're going to have to.
They didn't score any goals. They haven't scored any goals.
That's what I'm saying, but they may not have scored any in 2 weeks' time against
Oh,
Chelsea.
damn, they're not going to score against
Well,
Chelsea.
you don't know, but they probably won't.
They have no
So,
strikers, isn't it? Like
they've no-
Loftus
they've-
Cheek,
they've got your
Benteke,
man,
everyone.
Sacco up front.
Wickham is all injured.
So they've no one up front, but they actually could be the way they are going to end up. May have to average just under 2 points a game. So they're going to have to go on like a run without losing for maybe 12, 13 matches and win maybe 6 of that 12, 13.
Stoke.
To have a
It's only
chance.
5 points at the minute, though.
But
No, I
they
do
can't
realise they're
keep.
gonna-
They're going to have to go and win. For those teams, win 1 or 2. They'll have to win 5.
And you see, like Stephen Davis came out going, it took Fulham 2 years to get under Roy Hodgson's way of playing. You're like, Palace don't have that.
That's not a bad
Does
point.
Joyce still think Hodgson's a good manager?
Well, he got Fulham to.
But that's his level, though. Like that's what he's good at. He's good at a mid-table shit team,
Like there's just
and
this
have
thing.
no hope, no expectations, and he'll just do a job.
That's just the thing that these English managers get. Like I know Paul Merson comes out and it's like, why don't English managers get the big
Someone
job?
says
Don't
But
listen to Paul
what they
Merson.
do-
Paul Merson says
Paul
Sean
Merson-
Dyche should replace Wenger.
I legitimately think that Robbie Savage has more credibility than Paul Merson.
I don't think either of them.
Well, Paul
do.
Merson
But
must
they
be
all
very
come out. They all
drunk,
come
so-
out and they're like, why don't English managers get the big jobs? But the thing that English managers do is, no matter how bad of a job they do, like the Roy Hodgsons, they will keep getting.
Purdue,
Like
Purdue, He hasn't-
Purdue, Alan Kerbishley, like just always get linked with a job. Alan Kerbishley hasn't worked since.
How come nobody's had a
2006.
punt on Hoddle in a long time?
I think he pissed off too many people.
What,
He's
with his,
actually not a bad
with his
manager,
comment from
Hoddle.
23 years ago?
Yeah,
Fair enough.
does it?
Stoke and Southampton. Yoshida doing what is very hard to do for a Southampton player and scoring a goal, and it's a very impressive kind of athletic kick. Diouf scoring for Stoke, and then at the death, Peter Crouch, call him back up for England. Still scores those
Peter
important
Crouch
goals.
scored the
He's
most
a good
Stoke
man.
goal of all Stoke goals of all time.
It so
It
was.
bounced off about 34 people. Like I've seen pinball games with less bounces.
Yeah,
than that.
it
And
bounced off his shin, which for most other players would have been their penis, and it was just incredible to see him score.
I think everyone likes Crouch though. He seems
does.
like a really good
He
guy.
did a great interview on Match of the Day when he was like, "I haven't technically retired from England," and he was like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did you see the tweet he put up last week as well?
No.
There was like an article from a science blog that was like robots to take over certain jobs, and he's like, "Don't worry, lads, haven't done it in a while." It's like, yeah. The day I fell in love with Peter Crouch was the first season he moved to Stoke. He had an interview on Soccer AM, and you know they always ask the stupid questions on Soccer AM. They finished by going,
It's a dirt show.
"What's the most famous person you have in your phone book?" And he's like, "Yeah, Steve Gerrard." It's just like, bless. West Brom and Watford 2-2. Evans and John's hero Rondon getting the scores for the
Rondon's
home
first
team.
goal in like
Yeah, it's wrong.
a year or something. Like
Decore and Richarlison.
Watford doing really well away from home.
When I was
Yeah.
watching Match of the Day, I didn't know the score of this match. But then Match of the Day were like, and Tony Pulis told Rondon that he better start scoring soon. I'm like, well, I guess Rondon is scoring in this match.
Yeah,
that was a nice
it's
goal.
a shame that they don't do live commentary on that
Yeah.
and just put it in instead of going, well, he scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
He'll be looking to attack this. It's like, yeah, there's the goal.
Yeah. 50% of Match of the Day is recorded after they know the results. In terms of the people who are I'm using inverted commas, commentating on the match is terrible.
Yeah, Watford got a last-minute goal for the second match in a row. They got a winner against Swansea last week.
They were
and,
2-0 down against West Brom away.
Yeah,
like that's
they were.
not
Yeah, that's
easy to
amazing.
do that. And like they're at home. I know they got thumped by City and they've dropped a few points at home, but they're looking better away from home. They counter-attack
They'll
in style and
They'll take Everton's 7th place finish this season.
That's a
That's
hell of a
some
shout.
shout.
That's a hell of a shout.
their manager though is
Well, my
Unreal.
my pick for
He'll
seventh
take Arsenal in a
place.
spot.
My pick for seventh place got a very late goal, thanks to Sacco against Swansea. West Ham hosting Swansea, and Swansea
another late goal conceded. That's like 3 now this year.
very much putting out to the press that they felt they were the far better team in the game. I don't know about that.
Andy Carroll hit the crossbar.
He did with
With
an
a volley.
ridiculous
I'm just
attack.
right.
They're
just-
a very big team as well, aren't they?
I was going to so many Saccos.
What are you
too
doing?
Many, too many lines.
Are you able to talk?
No,
There's,
clearly
there's a
not.
lot of bad teams in the Premier League this year, and I think
there's
those two
always
are-
a lot of bad teams in the Premier League.
Not always.
I think
there
that-
is. There's always about 8 or 9.
I think the
terrible.
good teams have gotten better, and that's why the English teams are doing well in the Champions League. I think the bad teams are just at that level, and I think that the good teams have gotten particularly better. Like United and City are better than last year. I don't think you can say that. And Chelsea look great too.
Chelsea aren't as good. Liverpool aren't as good.
Liverpool aren't as good.
Arsenal are probably not as good.
I don't know how you guys
Spurs
felt about
are not as good.
Well, we don't.
Everton aren't as good. West Brom aren't as good.
Spurs, I'd say, are as good.
So there's like
Spurs
half
are-
the top 10.
Spurs are as good. Why are Spurs
They
are as
haven't won a
good?
game at home.
But look,
But that's
no one thought they were going to come second
Watford
again.
are better. We have Watford.
Chelsea,
Huddersfield are better than
Chelsea and City was the big game of the weekend. Tactically, Pep, although his fashion sense irks me, really had Conte's number completely. The way that the wingbacks were pushing in, Delph, such a member of that team now. The way the wingbacks were pushing in, and just Chelsea looked like they were an away team in this game. And the breakthrough finally came in the second half from De Bruyne, who was actually very good
I
for the
feel
first
weird
time this
about this
season.
match because it got Pep a lot of good press, which it should have.
It should
But
have.
also, I don't know. I just felt that Chelsea had a really difficult midweek game against Atletico Madrid.
One day after
which-
City
whi-
played.
Yeah, one day after City played. And also, I do think Conte made the wrong decision where I think Chelsea were doing okay, and then Morata got injured, and they brought in Willian, and they had no outball, and then they just welcomed City on, which obviously helped City. De Bruyne got a great goal. But I don't know. I think when City win big matches, I'm like, well, of course they did.
Why would you put
look at them.
on the actual striker you have on the bench?
I
that
don't- I just
shows.
don't-
It still
I don't
shows
think he
Conte
likes him.
doesn't have faith in him. But
Doesn't-
like, why didn't he
no.
buy another one in the summer?
He did score the goal against Atletico.
Yeah, no,
He's-
yeah, well, like, no, but
That was a great goal.
He's
I mean,
actually
look
got a
at it,
good
it's
goal
fucking
for minute
outrageous.
record for them. But like, he's never been given a chance.
I have to agree with
like
John.
Hazard,
I think
Hazard
Conte
is their
made a
number
huge
2
mistake.
option up front.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
There's also Hazard, like, he didn't play the full 90. Oh, no,
He's
he
still
did. He
not
played the
fit
full
yet.
90 on Wednesday, and that was his first Premier League match in a while, I'd imagine.
Hazard was really excited to finally get the opportunity to play as number 10,
Yeah.
and then he had to become a false 9 after 37 minutes.
You know, Delph, by the way, actually started as a left back with Leeds. So everyone's
Oh,
going,
so it's
he
not
can't
that
play.
weird, okay.
Yeah, so
Very
saying,
good.
he's never played it
Still
before. He
pretty
has.
weird, like,
He started as a left back and then went to centre midfield.
They spent like a $250 million on
Well, I don't know why
wing-backs, and they're still
Danilo's not
playing
playing there.
Fabio
Are City playing United when it comes back? The week comes back? When are City playing United?
We're playing United.
Oh, we're
no,
playing
I
United,
think
of
it's
course,
a
yeah.
week or two after.
Oh, God. Okay, Arsenal and Brighton, Monreal and Iwobi, Arsenal All-Stars getting the 2 goals in their victory.
They did.
I couldn't tell you a single thing.
They were.
I can't remember anything.
They didn't play great, but Brighton, I think at home will get points, but away from home they'll be cannon fodder really. Arsenal, Sanchez played a lot better, but I still don't know. I think he's still playing for himself. And there's a lot of rumours now that Ozil is not signing that contract at all, which was probably true.
He's not
because he
playing,
hasn't signed
so
yet.
you can
Ozil
But he's
to
on
United.
a free transfer. Someone like, if you get a motivated Ozil, like that's a
Yeah,
serious kill on a free.
Ozil to United, and then either City or PSG for Sanchez. The Parisian had an article today that said one of Neymar's many demands and suggestions when joining the club was that they try and buy Sanchez. And now with Cavani going,
Cavani leaves, yes.
So that's why I'm kind of thinking maybe this isn't true, because it's a matter of timing. Everton and Burnley, Everton losing at home to Burnley.
Good man, Stephen Ward.
Everton
Brilliantly this year.
Everton could still be playing now, and they wouldn't have scored.
I can't believe it's
And an Irishman on the score sheet as well.
Yeah, good for Ireland this week because what's going on there. But Everton are, I don't know what's going on. Like they're actually like there's boos now going around. Like they're fucking like the bottom four.
They're awful.
Ireland will never be able to get that passing move that Burnley got going.
The thing is though as well with Everton, they had their probably best 2 or 3 games this season when Sigurdsson wasn't in the team and Klassen in the team. They had their best when they were just lined up with 4-4, and then they had Rooney behind Calvert-Lewin. And now he's got this thing. He has to play Sigurdsson because he paid 55 million or something for him. Sigurdsson has to play. Klassen has to play. Rooney is somewhere around there. And then they have another guy as well. I can't remember his name. Some European fella. They're trying to fit all these guys in at number 10s. They've got 3 or 4 of them. And it's just, there's too much going through. So
yeah, I think there's a
they
team
should revert
there.
back to where they were. Like the Man City game, I know they're down to 10 men. But the first half against Man City, Everton actually, they put it up to City. And they look very good in the counter-attack.
Yeah.
And now they're not keeping clean sheets. They're not playing well, and they're not creating any chances. Like usually, you'll still create chances and lose the game, and the crowd get annoyed.
And Ashley Williams is a bad defender.
He's been really poor. So it's like they've a lot of issues there. They miss Seamus Coleman as well, right back. Definitely, Martin is not working out. They've got a few lads on loan as well. So they're, I don't know, they've a bit of an issue there, but they spent a lot of money. So I don't know.
Yeah, they're probably
happens.
getting the worst return for their investment from the summer spending for sure.
Do you remember? Like I sort of stand by it because although he's got a great start to his United career, like my not rating Lukaku was world class, but I was like, but maybe I underrated him and overrated Everton. It's like Everton are not a good team.
I think you did, John. I think you did.
Time will tell now. Time will tell.
Liverpool
after 7-8 games in a row scoring goals.
True that. Final game of the weekend was Liverpool going to Newcastle. Phil Coutinho with a moment of magic in the first half because he's Liverpool's best player, and then, as if you were playing beginner in pro, a through ball over the top in between both defenders, and then
hit Matip in the leg and go in or something.
Yeah.
Can I just say something about this match?
It's quite incredible.
Because it's been like said something because of the run that Liverpool are on.
Yeah.
It seems like I thought going away to Newcastle, Rafa Benitez side, after being away in Moscow, I think would be a tough game anyway. And then they get the goal, but then I think there's about 6 players in the Premier League that can play the through ball, and somehow John Joe Shelby's one of them. And like there's a bit
he's a good passer.
Exactly, like he's a head case, but he's just one of the very few like that can play that ball.
So what you're saying is 1-1 was to be expected.
I think.
I don't think it's a bad result yet. I think it's the manner that you conceded again. Like I hadn't seen anything like
Although
that.
I like John's excuse. You know, you can't do anything with
goes,
a pinpoint pass.
It goes to a striker who's
or
not in
when you
form.
defend like that.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's bad
John,
defending.
it was shocking defending.
I don't think it was. It was
They
a
were-
true ball, and the
They were-
defenders step up, and it would have been offside if the ball wasn't played at that exact time. I think if Liverpool hadn't got the idea now that they're bad defenders, I think that's fine.
You can't defend like that though.
You're
That's
saying,
not defending.
You're
John.
saying if there hadn't
that's
been
gambling.
defensive mistakes
It's-
all week or all season so
we played
far.
2 matches there where we didn't give the opportunity a single chance, and then Matip gets back and makes a wonder tackle, and 100 times out of 10 it goes out of play, and somehow it just hits off Joselu and rolls.
But the
I like
whole
your
thing is though,
optimistic
the whole
outlook.
positioning of them was wrong. They were the gap as well between them. They should have been 5 yards close to each other. You can't play that high line and just step forward. That's not defending. That's usually going, well, I don't want to go and track him. We'll just run forward and hopefully we catch him offside. Firstly, you may not catch him offside. Secondly, the linesman mightn't catch him offside. And then thirdly, you need a good goalkeeper to save it. I wouldn't rely on Mignolet, even though he's not having
you
a bad...
can't blame Mignolet. Like, have you seen
No,
the goal?
there's
nothing Mignolet
No,
can do
I just
about it.
said he's not actually having a bad season. I'm just saying, if you keep defending like this, all these factors will come in. That's not defending.
Liverpool, I think
you need
Liverpool
someone to go with the runner or
Liver-
drop off.
I think Liverpool played 180 minutes and the opponents didn't have a single chance in either match and somehow conceded 2 goals out of it. I don't know. I think that was a tough away match.
Like,
I think
I would like to say that I see an improvement in their defending.
What was the biggest criticism of Wenger and his defending in the last few years? Of just his back four running forward when there's no pressure on the ball.
Sure.
That's what you were doing the other day. It's not defending.
I do think that they are getting better.
At set pieces, you haven't conceded since Watford.
Yes, but
I
yes.
think in general, play though,
Well, we're getting worse at attacking, so...
The whole players are nervous. And the attackers know if they miss.
And Daniel Sturridge should never play for Liverpool again.
No, Daniel Sturridge will not start for Liverpool again.
I don't think he should ever start for
and then
Liverpool
I think
again.
whatever,
He'll end up at West Ham.
Good.
It's a West Ham player.
And then I think that
Fine.
like Liverpool,
Shit.
for whatever reason, ended up with the forward line of a player who's never scored a Premier League goal, a player who's never scored a Premier League goal for Liverpool, and I can't even remember who the other one was.
Sorry,
Daniel Sturridge.
what are you talking about?
Like Liverpool ended looking for a winner with Solanke, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and
Oh, sorry, yes. Well,
you can
yeah.
see why Liverpool wanted Kite anyway, despite what the defence did, and yeah, I could give or take it, but that midfield is absolutely nothing. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't help going forward.
And the fact that, like,
going back.
and at least there was a bit more, I don't know, there was a bit more balance to it when you had the 3 lads, even though they were...
And just because I don't want to talk about Liverpool again, Coutinho scored like 2 screamers, 3 maybe since he's been back.
Yeah.
But
and one incredible
Mo
assist.
Salah has such a massive fan base that
He's one of the players...
He's been winning every fan poll, so he's got like player and goal of the month, and he's been fine.
He's my favourite Liverpool player. The FAI Cup semi-finals, moving away from the Premier League. Cork City won, Limerick 0, Dundalk and Rovers drawing.
Back on Tuesday.
I saw the goal, the Rovers goal. Like the atmosphere looked insane.
Oh, it was really good. I didn't have tickets to go up there, but I'm going on Tuesday if you want to come. But it's going to be a really good game. Rovers haven't won the cup in fucking years, so it'll be like these two teams are starting to really hate each other now.
Yeah.
And I actually think the winner of this will beat Cork in the final, even though Cork have run away with the league.
Yeah.
They've lost Sean Maguire. They're not scoring goals.
Have Cork confirmed the league yet?
I don't think so. Actually, no. They're just. It's like
I know they're going to do it.
they've won the league after 10 games. They won the first 9 out of 10. So, but I think the winner of this will go and win the FA Cup final. In my view. So it'll be a good game. It's on TV.
I'll go to the cup final, but I have Neil's Tom Petty night on the Monday, so can't go out.
So 10 €10
Yeah,
for
2
a
nights in a
final
row.
as well. Actually,
Yeah,
go.
I've
So
been
it's
before.
good. It's good.
It's great.
Sticking domestic before we preview the Republic of Ireland matches on Friday and Monday. Kevin Doyle's retirement. We did we even touch on this last week in a way?
No, well, he wasn't retired then.
I think it
But did
was-
we not
I think
mention?
I think we mentioned it. I think it was announced, but we didn't know why.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no, maybe
I think you said it. I think you saw it on your phone. You didn't know.
Anyway, so he retires on doctor's orders, and what was the prognosis?
Well,
Concussions.
concussions and stuff. So, but we've talked about this in the show before. And I know, Neil, you're very interested in all this stuff, especially with wrestling and MMA and all your interests there. Like we've mentioned this probably about 18 months ago, 2 years ago on the show, that we don't know the damage of heading a ball is going to be. And Kevin Doyle was a target man. He was very good in the air. He had the ball so many times in every game. He probably got clattered in the head a few times, a few head in the back of his head from defenders, whatever, elbows.
Yeah.
And literally, the doctor said to him that the reason why you have to retire is the amount of times you headed the ball, that there's a weakness there in your brain or something.
Do you think this
And
would have been found
I'm glad though he's got away with no damage and he's fine.
Yeah.
And because he was going nowhere in his career, he was finishing up anyway. But he's a genuine nice guy, Kevin Doyle. He's one of the nice guys.
But do you think this is a big thing? This would have been found if he was playing for a Premier League or Championship team. I just mean that like it's a big thing in America. The concussions, like all the major sports doctors will know.
Yeah,
but over here, like we don't know. I think maybe it's just one of those.
Well,
things
if he was complaining about headaches or something, or if he was dizzy, or he had something, or a lack of feeling in his arms, or his...
But you saw like what Roy Keane said in his press conference when he was like, "If you're worried about the contact in football, you should be playing chess or something." Like,
well, he's right.
That's I think that's very pig-headed. I think there's a way to have to keep the credibility of the game, but keep it safe.
I think it's people.
Like that's terrible. It's like saying no sport can improve on player safety. It's like or get out.
Well, I don't think he meant by that. Well, what I would take by it is that I think that you feel that by him saying that if you go to play chess or whatever, I think it's more like ducking out of challenges, you know, not looking for the ball, not being brave physically and mentally.
But
You know
he
what I
was.
mean?
But
like if you chicken out of a tackle,
but Dan,
more likely you're going to get your leg broken.
he was asked.
If you don't chicken out of a tackle,
Yeah.
you'll win the ball and you won't get your leg broken.
But he was asked specifically about this concussion issue.
I didn't know that was in relation to that.
Okay.
Was he actually a direct question?
I believe it was. I believe it was.
You know what Roy Keane's like. He's a fucking lunatic.
Well, I think that's
but
really bad.
that was the way I would have interpreted it, but if that's what was said, fair enough. But
Yeah. There's an article on Football 365 actually about CTE today, and it's quite incredible.
Like,
I'm trying to find the
I've
point
never
here.
heard of any other player having to retire due to.
Well, you see, there
concussion.
has been evidence of men suffering from dementia and kind of pre-death pre-death signs of CTE. I'm trying to find the exact team that they cited here. 3 lads in their 60s now, anyway, former English players of an FA Cup winning team or something like that.
Jeez.
And it's as football gets more physical and faster, and there's more headers per game and stuff like that, I think we will be seeing a lot of players that we're watching now
we're
in big
seeing
trouble.
The effects of like wrestling and stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, I know it's completely different, obviously. But
it's not going to be as severe as that, but still,
it is. We still don't know the long term damage that something so serious could be, because but again, like, you look at it, like, even in terms of safety, it wasn't that long ago when Hugo Lloris was knocked unconscious and continued on the pitch.
Yeah, well,
that wasn't that long. That was
they have
2013.
learned their
I
lesson
think
about that.
2013-14 season.
They have learned a lesson about that in terms
was only
of
3
like
years ago.
No, it wasn't. Look, I know people might think it's silly, but there's enough evidence there, in my opinion, that why, and look, it can also be marketed, for fuck's sake. Why, especially at younger levels, can we not just all wear Czech's hat? Like, is it really going to take away from your accuracy of heading?
What does Czech's hat have? Is it padded or what?
Yeah, why not? Why the fuck not?
Didn't they find out that? Sorry, this is miles away. I had the microphone on the other side of the room there. Didn't they have that sort of helmets actually make things worse, because whatever way they
It'll be compacting.
Yeah, they compact it. Like,
that might be.
That's why they ruled out
Well, why would Peter
helmets
Cech
in
wear it?
MMA and boxing.
Why would Peter Cech wear it?
I have no idea.
Why
I
do
think
some
marketing.
like some rugby players wear it.
Yeah, I
remember your man was it Humphreys or something, the old Irish out half. He wore it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, there's the halfpenny for Wales. He wears it all the time.
I just don't see how it's an issue.
And that's a more serious contact sport.
I'm look, anyway, maybe I don't know. I think it's something that needs to be looked into. I'm convinced that we're going to see more players from just this generation winding up in a bad way, and it's not like the signs weren't there. Okay, so previewing the matches coming up, Ireland are at home to Moldova on Friday and away to Wales, who are Baleless on Monday.
It's the funny thing about, like, people are already building Wales, and Ireland have to score against Moldova, and I have my doubts about that. But also, no matter what happens, chances are at the minute that neither of these two teams are going to qualify, because
we
we're
need
the lowest.
results to go our way
Yeah,
tonight.
we need Bosnia not to get.
Need
points, I think.
Slovenia or Slovakia.
Yeah, so Ireland winning both games isn't guaranteed qualification, isn't guaranteed playoff.
Oh no, if we win two, we probably will. But it's unlikely. We're not going to. I don't think we'll win both anyway. So.
Okay.
But yeah, well, Martin O'Neill's on a new deal as well today.
All right.
And I'm not.
Did he?
Yeah,
I didn't see
literally
that.
in the last hour.
All right.
But yeah, I'm.
Good for him.
I'm very much in two minds over it. I think, he did what he was supposed to do. He got us to Euro 16. He's beaten the seeded team home and away, which wasn't done in 15 years.
But Dan, you came out of the Slovenia game when we all went to see it. Slovakia game when we all went
Serbia.
to Serbia game when we all
He
went
was
to
going
see
to
it.
get there eventually.
Sorry, I'm reading
Jesus, Neil.
I'm reading
Scotland,
my
is it?
It was it was
Sweden, was it?
Soviet Union.
You know when we played Norway?
You came out. Sorry, I'm reading my phone. Apologies. You came out of that game very down on O'Neill.
Well, the reason why, because look, he got us to the Euros. That was the objective, but we only got there because there was 3 in the group, and
Yeah.
no one can get away from that fact. I've always had that. There was progress made since Trapattoni, but that really wouldn't be hard. Trapattoni sorted the defence out, made us hard to beat, but that'll only get you so far. But I think the way it is, like with Martin O'Neill, is it really going to get any better with those super set of players? It's not like he can just go in and buy a player. He can't. he's got what he's got, and he's only picked Maguire in the squad now. He's got Hogan in, Daryl Horgan. There's a new group coming in. Hopefully they can do better. But I don't know. Is he the best that we have? But look at Michael O'Neill with Northern Ireland. That's the only comparison I'll have. They are comfortably second in their group, and like they have.
It's in their group.
Germany, Czech Republic. I can't remember the rest of them. But like
the thing when.
But they're still second. But he took over. They were a second bottom seed. I think they were a fifth seed.
Yeah, they were bad.
Yeah.
And they've overtaken us in everything. And they don't have better players than us. They don't.
All right,
Josh
guys.
McGinnis, who plays for them, was a goalkeeper 4 years ago for Aberdeen.
Yeah, but I just remember like they got to the Euros because they had a handy group, and then that pushes them up in the FIFA rankings. And then this year, it almost helps when you have a big team that's taking all the points, and then you just need to do the rest
absolutely.
of the rest.
But it's
I do agree that he's doing a better job, but I do think
So in the group is Azerbaijan, Czech Republic, Germany, San Marino, and Norway.
Yeah, like there's no one there.
But
Like that's a pile.
it's still like the job he is doing there with the group of players that he has, and what we're doing. Like again, if they're putting all their eggs in the one basket of international football managers, we're paying a manager who really has no record, has improved it slightly. You know, when the crunch has happened and some of the big qualifying games, he's bottled it.
That's absolutely not true.
He's
beaten Austria, he beat Germany. Like he's absolutely
that
not
Germany
bad.
game was luck. There was a lot of luck in that, right?
There wasn't.
There was there, John. There was. There was a hell of a lot of luck.
Look at all football matches. We're fucking Ireland, for God's sake. Like, what are you expecting to be
No,
doing
I'm
in this
not.
situation?
I'm expecting us to be able. We were 6-7 points ahead of Wales around this time last year after we beat Austria.
Yeah.
How the hell are we 3 points behind them now?
Because
It's-
they have Gareth Bale, and we have not a single player in our midfield or forward line who knows how to score a goal.
we
have James McLean playing in the same position, who gets the ball, boots it into Rose Ed, demands to take every set piece, and thinks that he's a good player because he runs into silly tackles. Wales have a much better team and are always going to collect more points than we have. I agree that we should have taken more. We should have maybe been braver against Wales when they went out to 10 men and get that sort of stuff. But we have no goals in the
10 men Serbia, 10 men Wales.
We've got three wins of the group. What was it? Seamus Coleman's silly goal. James McLean, good goal against Austria. And I can't even remember the other one. It's probably Moldova.
We beat Moldova and what was it? And we've got a few draws. But again, it's just...
I don't think...
You look at Northern Ireland, though, the way that they're playing, even at the Euros, they were so impressive. Like, how are they doing this and we're not? It's down to the manager, and I think he could still be getting a bit more out of them. Look, the players are behind him. As long as the players are behind him, that's the main thing. But I think the money that we're paying O'Neill and Keane or whatever, I think... I'd go with a different option. I think there are managers there who might be able to do something else. I don't know. Again, look, FAI have done it. I'm not like so upset with the whole thing, but I just think it is what it is, and you know, like it's again this time it's 2-2 to qualify. We're struggling. In the long term things, have we actually gone and progressed as a team?
I don't know. He got us.
Is that the answer?
He got us to the Euros. Got us 4 points. The last time we were in the Euros, we were humiliated. By
0 points.
0 points.
Yeah.
I honestly think
like it's not as bad as
to be an Ireland manager. Your job is to try to get us to tournaments. He's got us to one. This one's more interesting, but to lose out on a tough group with, get as far as you can, and the head is like it was as tough as a group as you're gonna get. Like, say what you want. There's 3 teams in our group that would beat every team in Northern Ireland's group.
Well, that's what I said when the draw was made for our group. There's no outstanding team, and everyone's going to beat everyone. And that's where everyone's like, oh, look at this. We got Wales as the top seed. I was like, yeah, but we got Serbia as the second worst. And I was like, no one even looked at the group. Georgia away, never an easy game. All these, like, we have a tough group, but I just think, though, it's like we're in such a commanding position that we should have been going, let's get top, not get second. And, you know, let's just see what happens. And look, we're behind them, but watch the space. It's a very odd time, though, to give a man an extension of a contract when you've got 2 games left.
Yeah, that's
when you
what I was-
mightn't qualify. It's a bit weird.
Yeah,
Anything
like
can happen.
the vindication will come on Tuesday, whether it was right or wrong. I think
Some of the performances, the last ones, have been
Monday night.
terrible performances.
Yeah.
And it's an odd time to give a manager that, unless the players are gone, we're fully behind them. I don't know.
Yeah, it is strange.
Like
timing.
that's one thing I'd put it. Like that's something Trapattoni. They gave them before the Euros.
Yeah.
And it went tits up.
Unless they offered it to him after the Euros and they just didn't get down to brass tacks and agreeing on terms until now, and maybe Ireland would have felt shitty from pulling it at any stage because it would have shown a direct lack of
I wouldn't
confidence.
have taken it if I was Martin O'Neill. I think there's no one in Ireland's future that looks like he can score any goals. We're missing Keane's.
Maguire and
Murphy.
Hogan. Maguire and
Murphy.
Hogan are the two.
Yeah, but
Well, Maguire is doing well for Preston, and 6 months ago he was playing with Cork.
we'll see.
Okie dokie, guys. Time for the awards. Your goal of the week, Danny already said,
Harry
was
Kane,
Harry Kane. John, do you have a goal of the week? I'll go for Cavani, the one that I kept missing last week.
Oh yeah, you did miss that. I'm sure we just gave it to Cavani that week. I'll go for Coutinho strike. He went for the keeper's near post. They never do that for those.
Yeah, that's why I like that one. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. You don't
Sweet.
see it very often.
My spoofer of the week is Barcelona, putting an 80 million buyout clause on Thomas Vermaelen, and that being the main reason why the sale to Everton didn't go through. The poor guys, if they're not going to play him, just let him leave.
Is he still there? I thought he released him. No, he's still there.
Still there?
Is it Barca B's? I wonder. Or is he actually still in the Barca squad?
It's a hospital, I don't know.
Fucking hell.
Like, he didn't play for
He's
Roma
been there
last
for,
year.
what, 4 years?
Yeah, he didn't play for Roma last year when he went on loan. I don't know what that, like, it's just, do you remember he was literally on par with Company for 1 year? It's like, these are the centre backs.
2009, 10. He was a
Before
really good,
anyone
he was a
heard
really
of,
good centre half.
For anyone heard of
Toby.
Vertonghen, well, no, Toby was a right back, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But nobody, but Vertonghen, like, wasn't in the picture. Anyway, listen. Your spoof of the week, John.
Red Bull Leipzig played in Besiktas last week.
Oh, here we go, Werner, huh?
Werner, and like he's a great player. Like
He
could
looks
have
like
become
he's
a
going to
player.
be super.
He but he stuck his fingers in his ears and came off, and the manager just had to be honest and was like, he.
Yeah,
he couldn't
there's
handle
something
the
more.
noise.
They publicly come out and said that they're worried about him. Like he
Yeah.
didn't
He must
play.
have a mental
He didn't play at the
something
weekend.
issue
Yeah,
or something.
something's going on with him.
So
So you're calling him a spoofer because he might have a disease.
Well, the disease hasn't come out yet, but yeah, I'd say so.
So the
Fine,
doctor
fine.
is the spoof for them for not
Yeah,
diagnosing it.
exactly.
My spoofer is someone on the BBC had the subtitles.
The person who does them,
Yeah, puts up the
not sign language, but the closed captioning.
Yeah, the captions, right?
Yeah.
And whoever did it must have been a Sunderland fan because he called Newcastle scum on the subtitles
When was this?
last week. It was
During?
for the Liverpool game at the highlights or something. They put the subtitles up and they go, "Oh, Newcastle scum." He said it's the thing. And they had to make a big apology, BBC. But someone put scum, so it must have been a Sunderland fan.
My word.
Yeah.
Here of the week, I'll go to Cesc Fabregas for admitting that he was the one who actually threw the pizza at Ferguson.
We all knew that, though.
But now it's public knowledge.
I was delighted it was him, though.
Yeah,
Ferguson's
I enjoyed that.
dick.
When was-
I don't.
I didn't hear about this.
It was
It's on
after
the league if you're
they
wrong.
beat. Yeah.
It was at the 49 game one. Do you
Yeah.
remember the food fight?
No.
Remember how much they
So
hated
Arsenal
each other
Arsenal
those
finally
days?
lost,
Yeah.
and they got in a bargee in the tunnel. It was at Old Trafford, was it? No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was.
it was.
And for
yeah.
some reason, Fabregas had pizza in the locker room, and he heard all this
That's just
madness, and he came out and he was like, "Oh God!" And rather than get involved, he just threw his pizza, and it landed on Ferguson's head. And Ferguson said that he until recently he didn't know. John, who's your hero of the week?
Rafa Benitez invited the people in charge of the Hillsborough Foundation and stuff to the Liverpool Newcastle game as his guests. So thought that was nice.
That is really sweet of
That's a good thing.
of young Rafa.
He's a sweetheart.
Well done. He's a swart.
It'll be great his return to Liverpool in January.
You have a week to mull over your fantasy team before the Premier League starts back up. The code is 1726538-646887. That's 1726538-646887. And we'll give you the current standings at the moment. In 19th place, we have Reg Harrison. 18th place, James Byrne. Stephen Lane is in 17th. Dave Nolte in 16th. Shane Lahart in 15th. Ronan O'Reilly in 14th. Tommy Normal in 13th. Noel Keeley 2nd. Danny Kilmartin in 11th. How the mighty have fallen here. Stephen Vincent in 10th. Dan O'Carroll in 9th. Coming his way back up after being bottom for 2 weeks, wasn't it, Dan?
It was never bottom. The second bottom.
Yeah.
Never bottom.
David Gogan.
Dan's never the bottom.
David Gogan in 8th. I've
Never
dropped
take
down
over from
to 7. Regis Kerr in 6th. Ryan O'Doherty in 5th.
Hey!
Thank you.
You got
Neil's-
something wrong. So many wrong. today.
Neil's
You
my
pretty got it.
hero of the week.
Thank you. John Carroll in 4th. A new entry coming straight in at 3rd. Tom Eastaway?
Oh, I told Tom to go. Yeah.
Herrera the dog? That's pretty good. Well done, Tom. Rob Normal in 2nd, moving on up.
Joyce is running away with the
And
league.
Joyce now on 444, the number of the beast. Quite incredible. Well done,
He's,
Adam Joyce.
miles away from top.
And his boom shakalaka. Okay, guys, it's quiz time. I don't know how far we'll get up, but we left off an F. We did Finland last. Now, the way we're going to do it this week is I'm going to have my back to you guys because the screen is kind of on view, so I need to cover it. So what I need you to do, Dan, is see where it says F on your harmonica.
Yes.
So number 10, I need you to kind of keep around that area, the right hand side.
Okay.
And if you can keep on the left hand side of this one, I'll distinctly know who's who. Okay, so Dan, let's hear your one. And John, let's hear your one. Perfect. Okay, that's quite.
Oh, mine's awful.
There's several.
Why don't you just say
They're severely different.
it's gonna be Dan?
Look, it's just fucking try. Do you know what I've done as well to give you a little bit more of a chance, John?
What?
I've wiped off the scores from last week, so we're starting afresh.
No, I'm fucking 11 ahead.
Okay.
Not happening.
No, I wasn't 11 ahead because
That's like going
kept getting me
first
bonus.
leg annihilation, second leg actually here, but put it back to 0-0. Make it just a movie.
Okay.
goals, innit?
Okay. So.
I have away goals.
So, okay. So.
we recorded in a different room, so I have away goals.
So hey, stop. Look. No, we can't. Can you?
No, it's very.
All right, fine. I'll go right here then. Can nobody see? I'm literally down.
I'm seeing a little too much of you, Neil.
Hey, baby.
Right.
Okay, just do me a favor and don't have your harmonica too close when you're buzzing in, and then use your microphone when you do. But no. Don't put the microphone. You're not You're not magnifying the harmonica. Yeah, but just make sure to bring it back to your voice when you're ready. Okay.
My harmonica tastes funny.
It's the same one you had last week, mate. Okay.
I have a different one.
France.
Henri.
That was John, and John gets the full point. We do have a 2nd and 3rd place. Dan.
Anelka.
Dan with half a point. 3rd place. Dan.
Perez.
Incorrect. Over to John. Free guess.
Cisse.
Back to Dan.
Saha.
Louis.
And by
Okay.
Cisse.
Let's see
He played
here.
for Sunderland, QPR, Liverpool. He had a good Premier League run.
Him and Juve.
Well, Juve
Okay.
Didn't have a Premier League run.
Germany. Dan.
It's got to be Ozil.
Dan with half a point. Over to John to try and take first place.
Balak? Oh no, I know who.
Back to Dan.
Klinsmann.
And joint first for another full point is
Schürrle.
incorrect.
Um,
5, 4, 3.
Haman.
Incorrect. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
oh.
Rosler.
Uwe Rosler. Oh, yeah. Managed Leeds, actually.
Okay.
One of those ones under Chilino.
Speaking of Leeds, Ghana. Dan.
Tony Aboa.
Dan with a full point there. In 2nd place and 3rd place, 2 very famous Ghanaian players. Dan.
SCN.
Essien is 3rd. 2nd place to John on a free go.
Give it to Dan. I was. My guess was it.
Sully Montari.
Incorrect. 5,
Oh.
4, 3.
Jeremy.
No, not
he's
Jeremy.
Cameroon.
Andre Ayew.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Gibraltar.
They have a player, do they?
There's only one man here. Danny Higginbottom.
He's from Gibraltar.
The more you know.
Oh.
Let's see. Greece. Dan.
Samaras.
Samaras is 3rd place. There's a man here with 20 goals. Which I can't believe. Dan.
Zacharakis.
No.
Karagunis.
No.
Fuck this.
Okay.
Stelios
Stelios
Giannakopoulos.
Ganakopoulos with 20 goals. I'm not even going to bother to try and get
Who's the
number
other
2. Dabizius.
Oh, Dabizas. Played for
Dabizas.
Newcastle, yeah.
Okay. Guadalupe. His first name is Pascal. Dan.
Chimbonda.
What? Okay. Do Toto have more than one hit single?
Yes.
John?
No.
1 point for Dan. Okay.
Hang on. Dan has to name at least 2 of those singles.
Okay.
To, get the point.
Absolutely correct.
Hold the line.
And?
Toto. Rosanna.
Extra credit. No. You gave him too long there.
No way, he did really well. I don't know why the fuck he said Toto. Guinea. Women have them and men like them. It's Titi Kamara. Moving on.
He played for you.
He did. He was pretty good.
What
Oh,
Let's see.
Screamer
here.
down the road, actually. Wasn't
No, some of these are just fucking... Okay, Hungary.
I am actually.
it? Oh.
I know who it is. I just cannot.
3. Dan.
Thomas Priskin.
Thomas Priskin in second place with 2 goals only. Dan gets half a point and probably the most amazing point of the tournament so far. Zoltan Gira, Dan.
No. Yeah, there you
Iceland.
Good Janssen.
Who the fuck was that?
That was me.
I told you to
Dan
keep it
went
on
to
the
the
low.
wrong
I
side.
told you to keep it on the low end. Good Johnson. That's a full point for John. Second place, John. If you want to continue.
Sigurdsson.
Okay, stop using the wrong part of your mic. I can't see what's happening.
Which one's?
Sigurdsson
go.
with
That part.
half a point, and there's a third place here. Who's that?
Me.
Go on.
Sig Thorson.
Helgusson.
Oh, Heidas Helgeson.
Okie dokie. Israel. Dan.
Ben Ayoun.
Oh, John. You could have had that one. We've got second place here. And a third place. Berkovic.
Oh, Berkovic, yeah.
All right. How much is that doggy in the window? Yes?
Free.
No, it's the rest of the nursery rhyme I'm looking for here. It's woof woof, done with the waggly tail. Lads, John, these are the points you need to be getting. Yeah, okay. All right. Speaking of waggly tails or saluting the swastika, Italy? Yes?
Di Canio.
Yes, there we go. That's a full point for Dan. Dan, would you like to have a go at second?
Balotelli.
Incorrect. Over to John. Same era as Docanio.
I know who it is.
I'll give it to Dan then.
Fucking hell.
Zola.
Zola.
Oh, fair.
Okay, and in third place?
Balotelli's not one, no.
No, sir. Carbon.
Luigi Carboni.
Carboni. Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
Yaya with
What am I
half
doing?
a point.
Drogba.
over-
Of course,
Drogba. Lovely. And in third place, very obvious.
Colo.
That was John and no, Dan.
Gervinho.
If Malud is on one wing, who's on the other?
Kalou.
Kalou it is. Half a point. Right. Japan. Yes.
Inamoto.
That is a joint third place, so that gets half a point. Over to John for number 1.
G.
No.
No.
Joe.
Joe is definitely Brazilian. Dan.
Key.
One was a flop.
Yoshida.
Yoshida is joint third, so Dan gets another half point. First and second are still there. Over to John. They both have the same first name. It's Shinzi. Kagawa, that's half a point for Dan. Number 1 is still out there. John.
Nakamura.
Okazaki.
with the full point going to Dan.
Yeah,
Dan got
Dan
all
knows his
4
Japanese.
Japanese players. Okay, let's see. Kenya.
I'm going home.
Wanyama.
That's 1 point to John.
Yeah, I'm have a go.
Me. That was me.
That was Dan.
Oh, sorry, Dan. Well, I gave it to you anyway, Dan. All right. Let's see. Latvia.
Mariam Pahars.
Jesus.
See what I'm dealing with here. Like,
Okay. Liberia. Yes.
George Weah.
Yes. Okay. Let's see here. Mali. I wouldn't have known this gentleman was from Mali. Dan.
Freddie Canute.
Freddie Canute with a full point. It's quite incredible. Are you looking over my shoulder, Dan?
No.
Okay,
Dan
very
knows
good.
everything.
Mexico.
It's all seen.
Dan.
Chicharito.
And second place?
Dos Santos.
No.
Oh, god damn it.
Borghetti. Did he play?
No Borghetti. Vela. Carlos Vela.
Oh, yeah, Vela. Yeah.
Okay. I would have gotten this now mighty quick. Montenegro. Yes.
Jovetic.
Absolutely. That's 1. Right, let's see here. Raoul Fox played for what country?
Raoul Fox.
Yeah, who got 36 Premier League goals. Yes.
Raoul Fox, you mean?
Yeah, sure.
He was Jamaica.
No. Well, we're on M, Dan. So. Okay, that would
Madagascar.
have won the quiz. Okay, I'm only going to do 5 more. All right. I don't know where we're going to stop. I'm only going to do 5 more. Hickory Dickory Dock. Yes.
The mouse ran off the
Jeez,
clock.
Christ Almighty. Netherlands.
Rikishi finally talks.
Van Persie.
Correct, John. Getting in there. Number 2. I'll leave it with John.
Robin.
No.
Where I go?
Yes, Dan.
Van Nistelrooy.
Half a point for Dan. And that's 3rd place. 2nd place.
Hasselbank.
Yes.
Hasselbank was Dutch.
Okay.
Suriname, actually.
Clivert.
New Zealand. They're different people. Yes, Dan.
Could be Chris Wood now.
Chris Wood is in 3rd place. Half a point for Dan.
Fantasy team captain.
There are 2 more. One is still playing.
Ryan
yes.
Nelson.
Ryan Nelson is number 1. Number 2. What do you do with a book?
Winston Reid.
Winston Reid. Half a point for Dan.
I was
Okay.
going to say close.
Nigeria.
Kanu.
Kanu in 2nd place.
What? I was going to say JJ Okachi.
Yeah, he'd be in there.
He's not.
No?
No.
Martins.
Incorrect. Yakubu.
Oh, yeah.
Feed the yak.
Feed him and he will always score. And in 3rd place, Efan Koku.
Koku.
Okay. Northern Ireland.
David Healy.
Incorrect.
That was such an outrageous show.
Dan.
Ian Dowie.
Ian Dowie is number 1. Number 2 is...
Ian Dowie is not number 1 in any quiz ever.
Keith Gillespie.
Is number 3. Number 2 is... He's not a cunt, but he's Chris.
Brunt.
Absolutely. All right. 2 more to go. Norway.
Chris Brunt is better than any player.
Solskjaer.
Yeah, that's 1. We've got 2, 3, and 4 here.
Risa.
Incorrect. Good shout, though.
Egil Ostenstad.
Incorrect.
Haaland.
Incorrect.
Leonardson.
Risa got more goals than all those guys.
No.
combined.
Gregor
Everson.
Hagem.
No.
Stefan Everson.
Everson is number 2.
How do you know so many players from Norway?
Carew.
John Carrero, yeah.
Where's Florence Cinnamon Pongole from?
France.
France.
Oh shit! That I think he'd be from somewhere slightly more
I
exotic.
was sure that
Reese didn't
Risa
get more
got
than
more goals than John
38.
Crew scored a lot for Villa.
38.
He's kind of averaging like 12 a year for like 3 or 4 seasons.
Okay, lads. Last but not least, Paraguay.
Clarence Acuna.
Incorrect.
Cruz.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
Claudio Pizarro.
No, Pizarro scored.
Oh, no, he's Peru.
No, he's Peru.
He's Peru, sorry.
Remember that for next time. I have Alcaraz with 3, and then Diego Galvinan with 1. Gavilan. Yeah. All right. Anything else, guys, before we say goodbye to everybody?
Shout out to the Lizard Man.
Whom?
Just doesn't matter. Just have to do it.
Oh, there is somebody listening, though, who will get that.
Yeah.
I suppose that's all that matters. Enjoy International Week, folks. We'll be back next Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday with a roundup of Premier League and how Ireland fared this coming Friday and Monday. Until then, please join the Fantasy League if you haven't already. Share the show around. Facebook.com/ITK Soccer Show and at ITK Soccer Show on Twitter. Speak to you again very soon.